In a small diner off Route 66, the evening rush had just begun. Families chatted over burgers and shakes, unaware of the quiet tension brewing in the corner booth. 8-year-old Ryan sat beside a man who claimed to be his uncle. The boy's red wristband stood out, a color meant to draw attention, and Ryan rubbed it anxiously, glancing around the room. His eyes were full of silent fear. Outside, the roar of motorcycle engines echoed as a group of Hells Angels bikers parked their bikes and walked in. The diner fell silent, instincts tingling at their intimidating presence. Leading them was Jack, Bear, Malone, a heavily tattooed man with a stern face but watchful eyes. While others looked shocked, Ryan saw something else, just maybe, a chance. He raised his wrist slightly, flashing the red bracelet in a brief, practiced signal only those trained might recognize. Bear's eyes locked onto Ryan's, reading the plea. The supposed uncle shifted uncomfortably as Bear made his way toward them, but it was too late. The former Marine knew danger when he saw it. The child had asked for help, and Bear was about to answer that call. Bear approached the booth slowly, pretending to check the menu pinned to the wall nearby. "Everything okay here, kid?" he asked, his voice calm but firm. Ryan didn't answer. Instead, he gripped the bracelet tighter. The man beside him stiffened, eyes narrowing. "We're fine," he snapped. "Mind your business." But Bear didn't back down. "Funny thing," he said, leaning closer, "that red bracelet. It means help. Kid's trying to tell someone something." The man's face twitched. His hand shot toward Ryan's arm, but before he could react, Bear's hand closed around his wrist, forcing him away from the boy. Diner patrons gasped as the biker dragged the man out of the booth and pressed him against the table with force. Within seconds, Bear's brothers stood around them, blocking every exit. 911, Bear said quietly to the closest waiter. He complied, voice shaky. Ryan slid out of the booth and clung to Bear, trembling. "He's not my uncle," he whispered. When police arrived minutes later, they confirmed the truth: the man was a wanted trafficker. Bear remained calm as he gave his statement, the boy still holding onto him. That night, Ryan was safe because one biker paid attention. The next morning, the story of a Hells Angel saving a kidnapped child spread like wildfire. Reporters crowded the diner, cameras flashing, eager to capture the heroism of Jack, Bear, Malone and his crew. But Bear stayed in the background, refusing interviews. "It wasn't me," he said quietly when approached. "It was the kid's courage." Ryan's bravery had sparked the rescue, and Bear knew it. Despite their fearsome reputation, the bikers had acted without hesitation to protect an innocent child, proving there was more to them than leather and tattoos. Ryan's mother arrived from Arizona, her face etched with worry and relief. She rushed to embrace her son, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Thank you," she repeated to Bear, who nodded silently, his expression unreadable. One of the officers pulled him aside. "You know, most people see your crew as dangerous. What you did, it changes a lot of minds." Bear gave a small shrug. "You don't need a badge to do the right thing." Ryan, holding the red bracelet in his small hand, looked up at Bear with wide eyes. "I'll remember this," he whispered. Bear knelt and pressed the bracelet into his palm. "Use it wisely. Someone will always hear you." The boy nodded solemnly, understanding the weight of what had just happened. 2 months later, a community center in Phoenix was filled with families attending a child safety seminar. Ryan stood on stage, clutching the red bracelet tightly in his hand. With a voice steadier than anyone expected for his age, he recounted the events at the diner, describing how a simple signal had saved his life. The audience listened in rapt silence, absorbing every word. Behind the scenes, Bear leaned against the wall, arms crossed, observing the boy he had helped save. He had come not for recognition, but to witness hope growing from fear. After the event, Ryan ran up to him, eyes shining. "I did it," he said proudly. "I taught them what you taught me." Bear smiled, handing the boy a small biker patch. "This isn't for riding, it's for courage." Ryan's mother hugged him tightly, tears of gratitude in her eyes. A reporter approached, camera rolling. "Why do you do this?" "People fear your gang." Bear looked into the lens calmly. "We're dangerous only to those who harm children." As he walked out into the warm evening, a murmur of applause followed. Ryan waved, holding the red bracelet high. Somewhere, Another child would see it, remember, and know that help could come in the most unexpected form. Courage, Bear knew, could change lives.